Hello, listeners, and welcome to our second radio program in our series, Knowing Drawing Instruments to Construct Simple Shapes or Objects. This program is produced for grade 8 and 9 learners. My name is Nodi Yambo, and today we will be learning about identifying end uses of all drawing instruments appropriately. Have a pen and a notebook at hand. Although we have a variety of drawing instruments that can be used to produce drawing, it's very important that the instruments are chosen correctly, hence used appropriately for better quality results. Notwithstanding this, the purpose of drawing is communication. Thus, a poor drawn work will be confusing and will not convey the correct information required. Therefore, at the end of this program, you should be able to name different types of drawing instruments and their uses, use the drawing instrument correctly for the intended purpose, communication.
Hi Franz, how are you?
I'm fine, how are you, Martha?
Sometimes I think the reason I struggle a lot with drawing is because I can't keep my drawing table tidy. It's always scattered with drawing instruments and equipment.
That is the reason why I always have a chair or a table beside me just to put all the equipment and instruments that I'm not using.
Maybe the question should be, do I really need all this stuff when I'm drawing? What are they for, and for what reason do I need them? Many times I've been drawing and I don't even touch some of the instruments since I've received it. I think I can do without some of them.
Martha, what is that you wish to do without? I have been listening to your conversation from the bench. Well, you know what? The reasons why you are struggling with drawing is because you perhaps don't use the right drawing instruments. Especially when I was marking the homework, I've realized you are not using the right drawing instruments.
But what do you mean, sir?
Tell us, Martha, how do you draw your curved lines?
I use freehand drawing, obviously.
No, Martha. Remember the other day? Didn't I show you with what instruments you could draw curved lines with?
Let's do this. Martha, take out all your drawing instruments from your bag.
I have a lot of those stuff. I received a pair of triangle ruler.
Oh, Martha. You're even having the nice French curved ruler. Mine got lost long ago.
You have most of the right drawing instruments, Martha. Let's make this fun. Each of you has to pick a drawing instrument or equipment from the table and mention its name or at least its uses.
This one is a soft ruler, hopefully, and I'm not quite sure what it's used for.
That is a flexible ruler. It's normally to measure irregular objects of lines. For example, a circumference of a can or pipe.
Really? But how does it measure the circumference?
Yes, Martha. You have to wrap it around the body of the outside can or pipe.
Wow, that's interesting. And what else can it do?
Basically, that's all I know.
You are correct, Franz. However, on top of measuring the circumference, the flexible ruler can be used as a French curve to draw curves and other irregular shapes.
So, this is a ruler for irregular shapes. No wonder it's flexible. Interesting. Let me note some of these new developments I learned. I nearly got rid of some of these tools that I don't know and use from my necessities.
There are these two similar triangle rulers. I know it's for drawing lines at certain angles. Why are they two? I assume it all serves the same purpose, right?
You are not wrong to think so, Franz. I beg of you to take a close look at those and tell us what you can see.
Sir, all I can see is one is a bit bigger than the other.
Well, those two rulers are called set squares. One described as 60 degrees or 30 degrees set square. Because apart from the right angle, 90 degrees, the other 2 points formed are 30 degrees and 60 degree angles. The other set square is described as a 45-degree set square. This is because, apart from the right angle, which is 90 degrees, both the other 2 points have formed a 45 degree. Both set squares are used when drawing parallel lines that should be on one angle, especially when drawing sectional drawings. These two set squares are the most important drawing instruments.
Sir, this is news to me. These set squares are used to draw parallel lines at an angle. But how can one use the 45-degree set square to draw a parallel line on an angle?
Franz, attach for me a clean A3 paper on your drawing board and pass it over here. Well, fix your T-square on the drawing board and take a 45-degree set square and let it slide against the T-square. With a pencil, use either sides of the set square to draw a line. That line is at a 45-degree angle. You can continuously draw the other parallel lines to this one by sliding the set square against the T-square at least 5 millimeters apart from each other.
Wow, this is so cool, Martha. I've been struggling drawing parallel lines which are on an angle.
Martha, it's your turn to pick a drawing instrument.
This is a rigid ruler with holes and irregular shapes. I think it's for tracing out shapes and holes.
Franz, can you give me the name and uses of the drawing instrument that Martha is holding?
That is called a French curve. It is used to draw many different types of irregular shapes. Also, it has many holes which represent different hole sizes. It's made purposely so that one does not have too many struggles when drawing arcs and other standard circles.
Very good, Franz. I believe Martha is taking notes.
Sir, what about this A4, A3, etc. paper sizes? What exactly does that represent or mean?
I am glad you asked that question, Martha. Drawing papers are listed into a series of A0 to A5. These sheets have their edge length in the same proportion, which is the ratio of short side to the long side, written as 1 inch square root. This means A0 as the largest is halved into A1, halved into A2. The list goes on until the size of a diary or a notepad.
Wow, I've really missed a lot. And the whole time I was under the impression that the greater the number, the larger the paper size. So I was wrong.
Sir, we have this pencil-lead classification of HB scale. How do I distinguish and when should I use which pencil lead and why?
Very good, Franz. The H is to indicate a hard pencil and the B is actually the designated blackness of the pencil. Also, the letter F is also used to indicate that the pencil sharpens to a fine point. For argument's sake, combinations such as HB means hard and black, and a pencil marked double H means very hard, and pencil marked triple B is extra black. It's notable that some pencils, however, still using the HB system but designated by a number such as 2B, 4B or 2H to indicate the degree of hardness. For example, a 4B would be softer than a 2B and a 3H harder than a H.
I have really learned a whole lot of information, isn't it, Martha? What have you learned?
Franz, I have really learned. And this is what I've learned. There are different types of drawing instruments which I did not know. I learned the purposes and uses of those instruments. I learned about the drawing paper series, which I didn't really pay much attention to. Now I'm able to plan and arrange my drawing instruments so they're not scattered around the table like before.
I am glad to hear the two of you had learned quite a lot, and I believe from today on you will be able to produce quality drawing work and use all your drawing instruments effectively. However, before we close off, I would like to leave you with an activity that you can do on your own time. List the function of the following drawing instruments. A. Spring bow compass. B. Protractor. C. Scale ruler. D. Masking tape. That brings us to the end of our program, and thank you all for listening. This program was written by Telves H. Hangula. Until next time.
This program was brought to you by NAMCOL with funding from the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture and the Commonwealth of Learning.